Karen's obsession with control escalated again when she decided to pull down my satellite dish. Her goal was clear: disrupt communication, intimidate, and attempt to assert authority over my property. What she didn't realize was that the dish was not only essential for my family and ranch operations, but was also the sole signal provider for local police cameras. Her reckless interference would have consequences far beyond her imagination. It was a late afternoon when security cameras picked up Karen climbing onto the roof, tools in hand. Her entourage had gathered below, filming and cheering, thinking this was a minor act of defiance. Dust and debris scattered as she pried at the mounting brackets of the dish. My team immediately documented the entire process, knowing that Karen's overconfidence would be her downfall. I arrived calmly, observing her from the edge of the property. "Karen," I called out, my voice firm yet measured, "you are trespassing. That dish is private property and critical infrastructure. Step down immediately." Her response was a dismissive wave, followed by laughter. She believed she could finish the task before anyone could intervene. But she had underestimated the importance of the dish and the consequences of interfering with it. As soon as she loosened the final bolts, a series of alerts triggered on my system. The police, whose cameras relied on the signal from this exact dish, were automatically notified of interference with critical surveillance equipment. The response was immediate. Karen froze when law enforcement arrived on the scene. Her face, once smug and confident, turned pale. Officers quickly assessed the situation. Trespassing, destruction of property, and interference with critical law enforcement infrastructure. The magnitude of her actions had finally hit her. What she had imagined as a harmless act of defiance had escalated into a severe criminal offense. I calmly guided the officers through the documentation. Every step Karen took, climbing onto the roof, loosening bolts, and attempting to remove the dish, was recorded with timestamps, GPS data, and live security footage. It became irrefutable evidence of her reckless behavior. Her protests, attempts at justification, and frantic excuses were ignored in the face of overwhelming proof. By evening, Karen had been detained, her audacity exposed, and her actions thoroughly documented. The satellite dish remained intact, the police camera network fully operational, and my property completely secure. What she had intended as a show of control had turned into public humiliation and legal jeopardy. As I stood beneath the setting sun, watching the dish's signal light blinking steadily, I reflected on the day. Karen had underestimated both the strategic importance of the equipment and the authority of those responsible for the ranch. Her reckless interference was a clear reminder that audacity without knowledge or preparation will always fail. The ranch, the satellite network, and the security it provided were untouchable. Karen's attempt to assert power had backfired spectacularly. Every act of trespass, every attempt at intimidation, and every reckless intrusion had been anticipated, documented, and neutralized. My property remained fully under control, and the lesson was undeniable. Arrogance and audacity have limits, especially when faced with preparation, law, and authority. By nightfall, the ranch was calm, the dish fully operational, and Karen's reckless plan had ended in humiliation and legal consequences. The 12,000 acres stood secure, my authority reaffirmed, and every boundary clearly defined. Karen's interference had failed spectacularly, another testament to the unassailable control I maintained over my property.